Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back with our Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today, taking a look at another figure from the most recent wave, as of recording this video. Black Series figures. This is Dedra Meero from Andor, specifically the first season. I guess the second season is out yet, although I imagine she's going to look the same, but who knows. But yeah, I've previously reviewed a few other figures from this wave on the channel already, Thrawn and the Imperial Armored Commander. Go on, check out my channel if you want to see those videos. But I've been, not slowly I guess, but I've been getting more figures from this wave. I have one more figure that I have to review. And this is a really solid wave, honestly. The couple that I don't have yet, I might still get eventually. Dedra here, I actually didn't have pre-ordered for a very long time, and I only pre-ordered her pretty recently from Walmart Canada because for whatever reason they had the entire wave, each figure at 11 bucks off, which is pretty significant sale. In Canada these figures retail for 35, 36.99 depending on where you get them. So that's a pretty big chunk off the price. And I wanted this figure and I wanted this character, but I didn't really want to pay full price for it. So it worked out really good for me. But anyways, let's take a look at the figure. So this is my first female officer in the Black Series. And I think just in general, it's only the second one they've done. The first one would have been Tala from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And this figure, I did do a little bit of research. This figure has a bit of reuse, but also has some new parts, which is cool. But taking a look at the head sculpt and the face print, which I think is a really important part to these officer characters, because obviously just as action figures, they're not the most exciting characters usually. So I think a lot of the appeal of these figures rides on their likeness. And I think they did a really good job with Dedra here. I think it really does look like the actress that played her. The face, you can see, it's a little glossy, but it's not too bad. But it looks really good. I think the sculpt is like 100%. And then the print looks pretty decent. Maybe with a matte coat, it would look a little better. Maybe I'll try to hit it with some matte paint, see if it looks any better. But this is how it looks off the bat. And I still think it's a pretty clean printing. Looks quite good. The hair sculpt's really nice. She has her hair tied into a bun. And it may be a little hard to see on camera, but she does actually have a bit of a black wash or a darker wash thrown into the hair to really bring out the sculpted detail. I find it's kind of rare to see that on Black Series figures these days, so that's really cool that they did that. It looks pretty nice. I like how it kind of is darker and fades to lighter at the top of the head there. I think that's pretty cool. And then the rest of the figure, I believe the torso and the lower tunic waist piece are new to this figure because she does have the smaller rank plaque. You've got the collar there. Unfortunately, the paint is a little rough on the collar. It just seems to be a common thing with the officer figures. The rank plaque looks okay. Mine does have some paint that's a bit askew to the right, so it's not super terrible. It didn't bleed onto the white, luckily, but it is a little messy. I guess it's hard to tell at distance, so it's not that big a deal. Just have the code cylinders sculpted and painted in the little pockets on the tunic there. And it's maybe hard to see on camera, but the tunic actually also has some really nice, just subtle sculpted detailing of simulating the fabric of the outfit. And you can see it right there, which I think looks really nice. The arms, I do believe, are reused from Tala. You can see the belt there, silver buckle, some pouches, and the legs, I believe, are also reused from Tala, but I think that is fine. I think they work. And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's a decently simple looking figure, but it's effective. I'm always a fan of collecting Imperial officers, and this is the first ISB agent officer that we have in Black Series, so pretty happy to have this character to go with the rest of the officers. In terms of articulation, you do have a dumbbell joint at the base of the head as well as the base of the neck. So she can look up an okay amount. Looks down, not really that much. Some okay pivot. Hinges at the shoulders, you can go about that far. You can rotate. Single hinge elbow bend. It goes a bit past 90. I will say pretty much my gripe with almost every officer figure in Black Series. I wish they had deeper cuts at the elbows so they could get their hands closer to their face and whatnot for more expression. It's not a huge deal, but it is something I wish they had. And you do have swivels at the wrist as well as here for the trigger hand. You have an up and down hinge. And then here, the gripping hand, you have it in and out, which is good. You do the waist kind of dumbbell joint, which really only rotates. You don't really get any other pose. You get a little bit of crunch forward, but not much. Hips, go about that far. The lower tunic does hinder some articulation. And interestingly, there is no cut on the side, which honestly I'm kind of fine with because it's not like a character is going to be doing crazy dynamic poses anyways. So I kind of like the aesthetic choice, just not have that cut. And it still gets a pretty decent spread even without it. Swivel cut at the thigh because this is reuse of some slightly older legs. Single hinges at the knees with rotation there, and then hinges at the ankles, which go down. They go up an okay amount, and then ankle rocker for pivot. So pretty well articulated. Like I said, it would have been nice to have some deeper bends in the elbows, but other than that, it's pretty solid articulation for this character. I don't need anything too crazy. In terms of accessories, comes with a couple things. You do get her blaster pistol, very Han Solo-like. I think this is a new sculpt though. It has a little bit of silver paint on those cylinder things on the side. It looks pretty good. And of course, she can hold it in the right hand there, the trigger finger. Holds it really well. Looks pretty cool. She doesn't have a holster for it, unfortunately, but that's not a Hasbro thing. That's the character's costume design from the show didn't have a holster, so she doesn't have a holster either. And then another accessory that's pretty cool is you actually get her little data pad thingy. There's no like screen for some like detail for some reason, but you do have some nice silver and red painted detail there, and she can hold that in the right hand, or not right hand, left hand preferably, but you can probably do it in the right hand as well. Hold that, and that looks pretty cool as well. I like that a lot. Always like little accessories like that. Interestingly, I'm pretty sure the TVC, she's getting a TVC release, and the Vintage Collection release doesn't come with the data pad. It only comes with her pistol, so I don't know why they did that. It's a little weird. If I wanted to absolutely nitpick, it would have been kind of cool if she included her officer's cap that you could take on and off. And if you don't want to go even extra mile, when she was on the planet that Cassian's from, like, it's been a while since I watched the show. I can't remember what it's called. But if she came with like that poncho, wet, waterproof cape thing that you see the officers wear when they're like on the field, I think she wore one of those. I could be wrong, but I think she wore one of those. That would have been cool too. But, you know, that's probably a little bit out of the budget at that point. But yeah, pretty cool overall. Although I will say I am glad I got it for cheaper. I don't know if I'd love to pay full price for this. Just even when you pick up that figure, it's light. Like, there's not a whole lot of plastic to it. But I think it's really well done, though. I think the likeness is really good. I think that's a big chunk of the battle for the success of these officer figures. Accessories are pretty good. Articulation is fine for me. So it's overall a really solid figure. I guess lastly, we'll do some quick comparisons. So with another officer and her wave mate, here's Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think they actually look pretty cool together, even though they probably never interacted with each other at all. And it's a little hard to tell on camera, but Thrawn's is ever so slightly a bit of a dirtier, a bit of a more off-white, where Dedra's is a much more brighter white uniform. It's subtle, but it is a difference. I think it's actually kind of cool because you wouldn't expect Thrawn's to be completely clean, I guess. But that's cool. She's with a Stormtrooper. And being a female character, they usually skew a little shorter, so she's a bit shorter than a Stormtrooper, but I think that makes sense. Here she is with that Andor officer. I think it was a Walmart exclusive from like last year, and this is the kind of the waterproof cape thing I was talking about. I think she wore something like this in the show, but I could be wrong. If you really wanted to, you could reuse this, repaint it, and you could use it, customize it to use for her maybe. They would have the wrong rank, but that still is pretty cool. It's a little dusty. You'll have to apologize for that. I haven't touched that figure in a long time. And then here she is with the Imperial Army Trooper from Andor as well. I think they look good together too. And I guess lastly, and I almost forgot I had him right here. Here she is with Season 1 Cassian. I have not gotten the Cassian that came from this wave yet. I'm still kind of undecided if I want to pick that figure up yet, but we'll see. But overall, I think this is a really cool figure. I don't think it's a must-have, but if you are a fan of collecting Imperial officers, and of course, if you are collecting the Andor figures, then I definitely think it's a must-get. It's definitely a really cool one, and like I said, I think the likeness is really well done, so definitely recommend if those are things that you are interested in having for your collection. Otherwise, it's still a cool figure, but I'd maybe wait for a sale. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.